Okay, let's get into the stock market technical analysis. We're going to look for trade ideas in the market. Lots of interesting things to look at today. So guys, if you're finding value as I go along, drop me a thumbs up. I do appreciate that. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. There's really nothing to lose here. We're giving a technical analysis, trade ideas. At the end of the day, you take the trades you like and the ones you don't, you pass. Okay? And then finally, if you're interested in learning this as a skill set, I do have a technical analysis course, priced affordable, link in the description below. Check it out if you want. About 4 to 5 hours, 4 hours of video training, as well as a checklist on what to look for, all broken down into that course. Good value there. All right, guys. Oh yeah, finally, private member group. If you're interested in getting additional market insights, I'm in there every day, probably posting 10 different times, different trade ideas, setups, what to look for as the market's moving around. So if you're interested in that member group, link in the description below. Join up if you're so inclined. Triple Qs, guys, we have an upward channel right here on the hourly chart right there, and we're now breaking back down into the channel. So to me, as long as we can hold here and they don't just rally this hour candle up, because this hour hasn't closed, it'll close here in 25 minutes or so. If they can rally it up, then okay, we haven't broken down. But otherwise, we're in the channel as of right now, and that means we're likely going to head down to the bottom of the channel. I think there's support, somewhere maybe right in here. So maybe we get down, I don't know how we get down to the bottom of the channel. Maybe we sell down and go sideways or something. In general, though, I'd look for a move to the bottom of the channel as long as we can, continue to break down within this channel. Okay, so that's that on the hourly. When I look at the daily, again, we hit big resistance. They popped it. I mean, on the daily chart, we're above this downward trend line here on the daily. So nothing but bullish on the daily. It doesn't really turn extremely bearish on the daily until we get some signs of a reversal or a false breakout. Okay, this rally off the lows, if you look at this rally off the lows, this rally is straight, pretty much almost vertical, 20%. This to me still looks like a bear market rally, even though we've taken out the trend line that's defined this entire bear market. It still looks and acts like a bear market with really impulsive move up, and then we continue the downtrend. So I can't say for sure yet that this uptrend is not finished. I think it's really overextended. So at minimum, I would look for a move down to this channel and then probably a move to backtest this broken trend line down here about 286 or so. Okay, I think that makes a lot of sense. First things first, we have to take out that channel. S&P 500, kind of a similar look. Going down to the hourly chart here, you'll see here's this upward price channel. And we hit resistance just yesterday, so I think it makes sense we head down to the bottom of the channel. No guarantees, we might just chop around, but I do think we're heading down to that bottom of the channel. Nothing really plays out on the daily till we take out this channel, so that's kind of your sell signal. Here's the daily chart on the S&P 500, again above the downward trend line that's defined the bear market. So again, if this is the start of a new bullish trend or maybe a rally that's going to last a lot longer, there's still going to be pullbacks along the way. So I think we could easily pull back, maybe hit back test this trend line sometime. And then if you're a bull, this is probably where you'd want to buy. All right. And if you're a bear, well, if you're a bear, you probably want to wait for a break of this trend line. Okay. You don't want to just short before you break the trend line. But again, the bulls will probably be buying at the trend line looking for that. The bears will be probably looking for some sort of consolidation and then ultimately a failure and a breakdown. So that's it. Okay, interesting price action today on these FANG stocks. You'll notice Amazon's getting smoked, giving up a lot of those gains. Google's down decent. Meta's basically flat. Microsoft's down. And Apple's really the only one carrying this market right now. So watch Apple. That's going to be telling. Apple, here's an upward price channel. They rallied this thing. If they can fade back below or into this trend line, it's probably going to be a false breakout, probably going to head to the bottom of the trend line or the channel. And then ultimately a break of the channel is what you want to look for a major sell signal. Until you see that, we're still in an upward price channel. Okay, gold. The gold futures. Clear breakdown today. Pretty impulsive selling. Everything you want to see for that breakdown as expected. And it looks like we've got some support right down here about 1834. down to about 1823. I think that's kind of a zone of support, to be honest. But in general, that looks like where we're heading. If it really wants to sell off, then you have the 200-day moving average down there at 1785. I wouldn't, I'd be a buyer of dips here. Not, I'm not buying yet, but I would be looking to be a buyer down in this area, down to the 200, not below. Okay, so I'd look for, some sort of move down, and then probably a continuation of the upward trend in gold. So that's what I have on that one. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the individual stocks. We'll look at SBUX. Again, on the daily chart, bearish rising wedge, bearish divergence on the daily, breakdown and sell signal today. It really happened after hours on the earnings from yesterday. So I got short in the after hours, and it hasn't really gone anywhere too much today. So I'd be, at this point, unless they can recover this, which is very unlikely, then this is a sell signal breakdown on the daily chart, signaling that, the start of a downtrend. I'd be a seller of rips. If you're not already short, I would be selling rips. So rallies into resistance will likely get sold into as we continue lower. Next level of support, there's a gap to fill down here at 101. So I think we head down there, probably get a little bounce, and then ultimately work our way lower down to 93.50 area. Good support down there. That's probably my target for right now, is about 93.50. Okay, wheat. Tried to make a play on this morning. It looked like you were going to get the breakout, but the seller stepped in and smashed the thing back down. So for me, the key level that I'm really watching and zeroing in on is about the 778 on wheat. It's a decent amount of reactions there to verify that as a key level. And you can see today we were above it. And if I have this bullish falling wedge pattern here that we are just waiting for that breakout on. We have bullish divergence. We have everything we need in terms of a bullish setup. So definitely a bullish setup. We just don't have that buy signal. Looked like we were going to get it today because you see this tail right here, this wick. At one point we were up here around 788. Looked like the buyers were going to continue to step in and start to push this thing up for a breakout. But then pretty much at that moment in time, the seller stepped in and smashed it back down, back into the wedge. So that's bearish. Again, the next breakout will probably be the real deal, but again, no buy signal as of right now. And, if we could head down to the bottom of the wedge, to be honest. So I don't have a buy signal. I took a little shot at it long. I've exited that position after seeing today's price action. So again, we'll just stick with it. I think it's very bullish, constructive chart. If we get a breakout, we'll take that one, and eventually one of these are going to stick. That one didn't today. Okay, the semiconductors are looking pretty toppy to me. No sell signal, so I'm not taking a trade yet. But you look at NVDA, this is kind of the major semiconductor. Very similar to triple Qs, you've got this upward price channel. On the hourly chart, though, we've got some negative divergence starting to show up on the hourly now. We didn't really have that until there. That was a divergent high. We have another divergent high. So we've got negative divergence building, and we just need that sell signal, which as of right now, I'm looking as a break of the trend line. So whenever that might come, then that would likely be a sell signal. And for now, going to the daily chart, I would think that's, for now, we'll just look for a pullback or a back test of the trend line. Okay, on this one, NVIDIA, downward trend line pretty much established since the bear market. And it looks like this run its course, and we're about to reverse and head lower for a back test. So I can't say for sure that we're going to just break down and continue all the way lower. That's a little tough to say, but definitely does look like we're going to break down and do that back test. And that would be a drop of, from where we're at right now, depending on when it hit the trend line, maybe 17% or so. So I'm looking for that. Now, again, no sell signal on the hourly chart. I need to see a break of this trend line right here. And we're probably not going to get it today. It'll probably come next week if we get it. Okay, and then some of these other ones I've been talking about, there's not a lot of change. CAT still looks like it's continuing to the downside. You can see today, they're buying it up today, but just an inside day, meaning that we've got just, it's basically just trading lower. So continuation, I think we head lower on that one. VRTX, lower. We're coming up to earnings. Earnings comes out on this one next week. So likely, expect some volatility. I'm expecting, well, at this point, we've already kind of sold down from the trend line, so earnings could go any way. It's kind of a crapshoot. Could pop and then sell down, or we might just drop. So again, if you can't handle a large move against your position, if you have that one, then obviously it makes sense to lighten up. Kind of at some support right here as well, 302.44. So yeah, we'll see. I'm going to stay short. I think this one's set up for a lot more downside. But, again, we have this bearish rising wedge. We've got a breakdown, got a clean back test, have big negative divergence on the momentum indicators, and we've started the downtrend. I think earnings, again, whether they pop it in the initial move, I think that gets sold into. Okay, DHI. Let me go to the daily chart and clean this chart up. Again, bearish rising wedge here. We broke, basically had a sell signal right here. Then we back tested for multiple weeks. Yesterday on this big impulsive ramp up, they routed it back into the wedge, right into the resistance, and that's where it stopped. Today, gapping down and, back below the wedge again. So again, at this point, I don't think it has any more business going higher. I think we reject here and continue lower. So, if we start rallying again and we're back up in this 102 area, I'll probably stop out on that. So for me, that's kind of the stop zone now. Now that we've had this price action of this big rally up and the gap down, I would expect downside. So there we go. That's what I got on that one. My target for this one is still way down here at 78, 79, right in there. There's a gap to fill, the 200-day moving average. That's my target. And I'll wrap up with Boeing. Again, sell signal on Boeing. I like this for continuation to the downside. We have bearish rising wedge here. We broke the wedge, just really traded sideways because we were waiting for those big tech to report their earnings, and then also the Fed. Now that that's out of the way, I think this breakdown can actually stick and start to roll over. So that's what I'm looking for. And ultimately, I think the target that I have on this one is a backtest of this red trend line down here, somewhere around 180. Really depends on when we hit that. That trend line, if I roll out to the weekly chart, that's a big trend line. We've had a lot of reactions. Now we've broken out of that trend line, but I think we could come in for a back test. So that's what I'm looking for now on Boeing. I like it. I'm short on this one. All right, guys, that's all I have. I'm going to wrap up, and I will see everyone on the live stream tomorrow around 9:15 Pacific time. Bring any stock picks or charts you want me to look at, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.